You are standing on a black beach in Norway. The year is 793 AD. The longship behind you has been hauled above the tide line. Across the water sits the island of Lindisfarne, a monastery, gold, silver, jeweled relics, and no defensive walls, because no one who wished them harm had ever arrived from the sea, until this morning. The word Viking is a verb before it is a noun. To go Viking means to go raiding, a way of converting the surplus energy of young men in a resource-scarce landscape into silver and reputation. And this, from the slave at the bottom to the king at the top, is what it actually feels like. Level 1. The thrall, the slave. The Viking world does not begin with warriors. It begins with the people warriors take. You are a thrall. You were free once, a farmer in Ireland, a monk at Lindisfarne, a merchant on the wrong road at the wrong time. You were taken in a raid and sold at a market in Hedeby or Dublin. You belong to a farmer named Gunnar. He is not cruel. Cruelty would require attention to your interiority that you do not receive. You are useful property, kept alive the way a man keeps a good ox. You have no legal standing, no voice at the thing. One path out exists, manumission. A freed thrall's children are born free. One generation of servitude can purchase 2 generations of freedom. This is the arithmetic you work through in the dark hour before sunrise when the fire needs building, and the calculation of your life has exactly one variable you can influence. You build the fire. You wait. Level 2. The Karl, the free farmer. Your grandfather was a thrall. Your father was Leysingi. You were born free. 30 acres, a long house, a sword on the wall used exactly once in a border dispute resolved at the thing before it required the blade. The Karl is the basic unit of Norse society, not the warrior, not the jarl, the Karl. Most Norse people were Karls. They farmed, traded, occasionally raided when a season was bad, and lived lives of the specific agrarian difficulty that is pre-industrial Northern Europe. You have legal standing. You have voice. The weregild, the man price, protects you by law. Your son is 14 and looking at you with the expression that has meant the same thing since the invention of agriculture. Standing in a field is not the life he was imagining. You wore that expression yourself. You stayed. Whether that was wisdom or cowardice, you have mostly stopped trying to decide. Level 3. The bondi, the raider. Spring. Ice goes out. The longships come down to the water. You go east, down the rivers of Gardariki, trading fur and amber for Byzantine coins, with violence as a business tool rather than the business itself. The longship makes it possible, clinker-built, flexible, drawing so little water it can be rowed up rivers no vessel has business entering, light enough to portage over land between river systems. It is not a boat, it is a key that opens every geography it encounters. The violence, when it comes, is not what the stories make it. Terrifying, fast, disgusting, over quickly one way or the other. The noise is specific and biological and does not fully leave you when it stops. You return in autumn with enough silver to buy 2 additional acres and a reputation that makes the jarl's household notice when you walk into a room. You went to change the arithmetic. It worked. You will go again. Level 4. The huscarl, the household warrior. 5 years of raiding. You are no longer a farmer who occasionally fights. Everyone can see it. The threat assessment that runs continuously now, the process you can no longer switch off. A jarl has taken you into his service. Chainmail byrnie, spangenhelm, pattern-welded sword that cost as much as the armor and is the finest thing you have ever owned. It has a name. Good swords have names. When a rival jarl arrives with negotiations with 6 huscarls and your jarl has 12,
The outcome has already been decided before anyone sits down. 3 pitched battles, shield walls, interlocked shields, moving forward together, killing the men directly in front of you while they try the same. You have been in the front rank twice. You are alive because you are very good at this, because the man to your left was the most reliable fighter you have ever stood beside, and because luck is a variable no amount of skill fully eliminates. You think about luck more than you used to.
Level 5. The Berserker, the Edge of Human. You do not become a berserker, you discover you already are one. It happens first on the Irish coast, 3 men down, defenders pushing you toward the water. Something opens in your chest, not fear, not anger, but something beyond both. Vision narrows, battle noise drops away. Your body acts with ferocity completely disconnected from anything you would call a decision. When you come back, the defenders have retreated, and your crewmates are looking at you with an expression that is not quite fear and not quite awe, but contains both. The sagas describe it consistently: uncontrollable shaking before, trance during, exhaustion after. The Norse called it a gift from Odin. Your jarl values you enormously and keeps you at a distance he has never closed, because a weapon that doesn't fully recognize the hand that wields it might not, in some future moment, recognize which side it's on. The bear inside you is not separate from you, it is you. Level 6. The Jarl, the Warlord. You did not inherit this. Yours came through 30 years of violence, accumulation, and the intelligence that separates a man who can fight from a man who can organize fighting and direct it productively. 3 valleys, a hall seating 200, 40 huscarls, trade routes from Dublin to Novgorod, and a wife whose family connections have prevented 2 wars. The gift economy is not optional. A jarl who does not give does not remain a jarl. You feast your men, pay your skalds, reward your huscarls. Reputation is military power. Managing Harald Fairhair's consolidation of Norway means staying powerful enough for his alliance, and not so powerful you become worth his elimination. The band is narrow and requires daily calibration. You will probably die in battle, not from recklessness. Recklessness belongs to men who haven't calculated their death's organizational cost, but because the life you've built attracts violence, and violence is not fully controllable. Your runestone is already commissioned. The carver will finish it when there is something final to say. Level 7. The Skald, the memory of everything. There is a rank outside the hierarchy of violence that is in some ways more powerful than all of them. The skald carries no sword. He carries a mind trained to compress everything: troop movements, turning points, moments of individual heroism, into verse that travels from hall to hall and outlasts the men it describes. The kennings are his technology. The sea is the whale road. Blood is the sweat of the sword. A warrior is the feeder of ravens. Not decoration, compression, making things unforgettable in an oral world. The skald who praises you carries your name into the future. The skald who composes a need, a defaming verse, can destroy a reputation no military campaign can rebuild. Kings employ you. Jarls compete for you. You are the mint in a world where reputation is the currency. You are the reason we know what we know. Level 8. The King, Ragnar's World. You sailed a fleet up the Seine in 845 and held Paris until Charles the Bald paid 7,000 pounds of silver to make you leave. You took the money. You left. You came back 3 years later because the money was gone and Paris was still there.
Your great army, the Mikkelheer, is not a raid, it is an occupation, the beginning of the Dane law that will reshape English language, English law, and the English gene pool for 500 years. Your name will outlast your kingdom. Kingdoms are always eventually lost, but a name, if the skalds are well employed and the deeds genuinely extraordinary, becomes something time cannot erode, the model men reach for when they need a model for a certain kind of ambition. You are building the name, the rest is detail. You are back on the black beach, the tide is going out. You pick up your axe, check the edge. Good. The monks inside that building have no idea their world ends this morning. You don't think of yourself as the end of their world. You are a 23-year-old from a rocky Norwegian farm who needs silver and has found a reliable method of acquiring it. That is all this is. That is all it ever was. Historians will call the next 300 years the Viking Age. You call it Tuesday. You walk toward the water.